Hello everyone and welcome back to IronCraft. I am currently at the new villager area where I'll be building a bunch of villager farms because today I'm focusing on getting good gear. Oh yeah, and between episodes I got this pretty well enchanted pickaxe. Those are some good enchantments on there. Unbreaking 3, Fortune 2, Efficiency 4, and Mending 1. I'll try to get Fortune 3 and Efficiency 5 today. And now over here, someone else on this game got a Mending villager, and it's right down here. It's a pretty good priced book. It's only 14 emeralds for a Mending book. And now the last thing is this villager breeder that I built off camera because today's builds use a lot of villagers. An iron farm, a trading hall, that's actually it, but they both need a lot of villagers. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering what's going on with my Minecraft skin, it's because Minecraft Bedrock is giving away free items to celebrate 15 years of Minecraft. But anyway, today's first build is going to be an iron farm because as you can probably tell, my tools aren't in the greatest condition, so that'll be pretty... These cows are shoving me. So that'll be a pretty helpful farm to have, so that's why I'm building it first. This is what I'm currently at in building the iron farm. There are 20 beds in this area right here. Now I cover it with stone, and this is where the villagers will stand on top of. And now once I put the fletching tables in, it'll be time for the villagers. Oh boy. I need like 20 of them, so it's going to take a while. So this is my method for taking the villagers over there. I let it go a little bit, and then I push it along until I come up onto a block slope, which is right up ahead. And when I get to that slope, I build a rail and push the minecart to that rail and let it go up the block. This is the most efficient way I can think of. Even though this is the most efficient way I can... No, I just realized he grew up. Even though this is the most efficient way I can think of, it's still going to take a little bit because you can't see it, but the farm is like 200 blocks behind me. Almost there. I can finally see the farm up ahead. It's that clump of leaves, kinda. They're organized line of leaves. Okay, first villager in. Now it's time to get the second one in here. I finally have both villagers in now, and the next step is to breed them until I have 20 villagers in here. But that is probably going to take a little while, so I will skip ahead to when the process of breeding them is all done, and I will see you guys when I have 20 villagers in here. All the 20 villagers have grown up, and as you can tell by that iron golem spawning, the farm works, and it's not even done. Just got to get rid of this real quick because it's in the way of placing blocks. So now the next step is to put a roof on top of the villagers, and this is where the water is going to go. Next up is to place the water in here and do the iron golem killing chamber. The iron farm is finished, and as you can tell, it works pretty well. I'm glad to finally have an iron farm in the game. Now I just need to AFK for a little bit. And after I AFK, it'll be time to start the villager trading hall. I decided to come back to my base after AFKing. That's because before I start building the trading hall, I needed to get some resources, and also I have 30 XP levels, so I want to see what I can get in my enchantment table for my diamond boots. So this is what I have, Feather Falling 4. I already knew it was there because I found it earlier. I just needed to save to 30 XP levels, but now I have it. Okay, so now it is really time to start the villager trading hall. The trading hall will be built at that dirt box, which you can see behind me. So I actually already got Fortune 3. I forgot to record the process of getting it. That's a pretty good enchantment to have. Now it's time to move another villager over to the trading hall, and this time I'll make sure to record. So let's see what I can get from this villager once I turn him into a librarian. Oh, the librarian, let's see what it has. Well, that's not that good. I'm just going to time-lapse this process because it's going to be a non-stop repeating process of this. So see when it's done. This was actually a short time-lapse because it actually didn't take too long to get a good enchanted book. Looting 3, that's a pretty good enchanted book. So I'm definitely going to keep this one. Make sure I lock that in so it doesn't lose it. So this is what I'm currently at with villagers. I have Fortune 3 in this one. Then over here is Lure 3 for fishing. And then here is the Looting 3 book. But yeah, there's still a lot more villagers to get, so it's time for another time lapse. I didn't really have any luck with finding good enchantments during this time lapse. It was all pretty bad or average stuff. Just kept repeating this process constantly of mining the lectern, placing the lectern. Yeah, villagers get pretty boring pretty fast, but they're too overpowered to ignore, so it's always helpful to have a good trading hall in a survival game. But anyway, back to the video. So I have completely finished one side of the trading hall now with 7 villagers. I again have Fortune 3 here. and then over on this side, lure 3, and then over here is looting 3. But now the ones that you haven't seen yet is over here is Infinity 1 for only 5 emeralds, it's pretty good. And then Unbreaking 3 for 13, that's very good. And then here is Luck of the Sea 3 for fishing again. And here is Protection 4. And once this villager grows up, I can start working on the 7 villagers of this side. After some time, this is where I am at. I am about halfway done with the second side. Here are the villagers I got. I got Depth Strider 3, pretty good. I moved the Mending villager up here so it wasn't on the ground anymore. And then over here I got Silk Touch for 6 emeralds, that's pretty good. And then here is Aqua Affinity. But then this villager, I keep trying to get Efficiency 5, but it's taking way too long. So I am going to take a quick break and head back to my base to build a melon and pumpkin farm, because that will be really helpful to get a lot of emeralds to buy all these books that these villagers are selling. So I'm here looking through my chest, seeing if I have any resources to build this farm with. I really don't have that much. Okay, I was able to find enough resources for the rail platform and the farmland area. So I'm going to be building a 6x6 farm. This is going to be where the rails go underneath the farm with a hopper minecart to pick up all the harvested crops. And now this dirt platform will be for the melon and pumpkins to grow on. Now I'm putting slabs down here underneath the farm, well, in the grass level, so I can put water to keep the crops hydrated. The next step is to go to the nether, because I need nether quartz to make all the observers. I need, I think, about 18 observers for this farm. So it's time to go to the nether and get those. I'm going to time-lapse this process, and I will see you back when I am in the overworld. So yeah, this time-lapse was actually kind of pointless. I didn't think about the fact that I barely needed any nether quartz. I said, as right before I went to the nether, that I only needed 18 observers, which would mean I'd only need 18 nether quartz. Didn't think about that fact, so I just thought I'd be there a lot longer, so I time-lapsed it. But yeah, I was there like, I think a minute or two, and then went back. So it was kind of pointless, but at least you got to see me mine the quartz if you were interested in that. But anyway, back to the overworld. These are all the materials I need for the melon and pumpkin farm besides the actual crops. So I'm going to start by placing gravel in a checkerboard pattern, because the observers need to be facing the sensing side down. Like this, I just use the gravel to make it easier to make them with the sensing part facing down towards the crop. Next, I'm going to use a trapdoor to come down here and remove all the gravel. And then while I'm down here, I'll put all the pistons facing down so they can harvest the melons and pumpkins. This will be where the redstone blocks go to power the powered rails for the minecart track that goes around underneath. I'm just going to put the redstone blocks right here. And yes, I know this isn't the best use of redstone blocks, but it's the easiest for the rail system. I want to make sure there's a lot of powered rails down here so the minecart is moving fast and doesn't get stuck anywhere. I probably did a little too much, but I just wanted to be safe. And now that the minecart track is done, it is time for the last step. The last step is planting the melon and pumpkin seeds in the system. I need to make sure I make soil underneath each observer, and that's where the melon and pumpkins will go, so it'll detect them growing. And now all I gotta do is plant the melon and pumpkins. I'm just gonna do it in a kind of alternating pattern, so it'll be randomized and they won't be all close together. And now the melon and pumpkin farm is done. Just needs a few small changes that I'll do later. But now I'm going to AFK to get some melon and pumpkins, and then I'll get a farmer villager so I can start building up my emerald count, because those books are expensive. So now that the melon and pumpkin farm is done, it is time to decorate the villager trading hall. Because right now it's just a big dirt box, which isn't the greatest thing to look at. So I just need to smelt some stone, because I'll be using stone type blocks for this build. So I have 4 different stone blocks in my inventory. I just need to figure out a design for the villager trading pods. I just had an idea. I want to see if it looks good, so I'm just going to build it. It's the best way to test. Something kind of like this. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. It will look better once I get all of them in, so I just need to start doing that now, I guess. So this is what I've done so far. The front of these pods is mostly done, but I also have this archway right here because I have an idea for the roof. There will be another arch right there, And then I'll put another arch in the exact center, probably about here. And in between those arches will be glass, so you can look up at the sky. I think that'll look pretty cool. And now, after a week of work, the villager trading hall is finished. I really like this glass roof design. It makes it seem a lot bigger, being able to see the sky. I also put some lanterns up there to help light it up in here at night. I also put signs above each one of the villager pods so you can easily see what they sell without having to click on the villager. And then these pods are left empty for future villagers. So now it is time for a time lapse slash montage type thing of me going around gathering all the emeralds needed for mending books and trying to enchant my diamond armor so I can finally start wearing that and get out of the iron armor. So let's start the time lapse now. So this is a pretty long time lapse right here. I start out by just gathering my farm's resources. Right now I'm just bone mailing a potato over and over again because I needed some potatoes. Then I harvested the sugarcane farm so I can get some paper. And next I gathered up my resources that I needed and took them over to the villager trading hall. I also needed some wheat, so I got that real quick. But once I got to the trading hall, I started trading these resources for emeralds because it's 14 emeralds for one mending book and I need 4. So I just traded as much as I could using wheat and paper. So I eventually built up enough for one mending book, so I got that. But I still needed another, so I kept on, still needed more, so I kept on going. And yeah, I just eventually started raiding nearby villages, stealing their crops, because it was the fastest method. And also I saw this group of villagers that was very interested in that garden for some reason. So I just decided to go over there and start harvesting their crops. And then I started mining the hay bales because you get a lot of wheat for mining those. Because there was villagers giving, if you give it wheat, it gives you emeralds. So that was probably one of the best trades for me to do. Which this villager that was in the villager breeder had that wheat trade. So I just kept on trading that until I ran out of, well, actually it locked. And I did the same with carrots because I got a lot of those. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm just going to change the subject from Minecraft for a little bit. But as I was saying, this is a pretty long time lapse. So I want to know what you guys think. Should I do music time lapses? Or should I do time lapses where it's a voiceover like I'm doing right now, where I kind of talk through what I'm doing as it's happening? So there will be a community post. If you go check my community section, there's going to be a community post where you can vote for music time lapses or voiceover time lapses, because I don't know. Since this was such a long time lapse, it probably would have worked out better to be music, but I just wasn't sure, so I did a voiceover. But yeah, there's still a little bit left this time lapse, so I'll get back to the Minecraft topic now. So I just continued to do the method of raiding villager farms and trading, just breaking their crops and taking the carrots and finding a villager that wanted carrots, which was actually kind of hard. There wasn't any at this village. Most of them wanted beetroot, and there wasn't enough beetroot there to do that trade. So I just ended up sticking with the wheat and then went back to the villager breeder to use the carrot trade. But now I'm really close to having enough emeralds. I just need a few more, so I just decided to harvest our sugarcane farm because I was ready to get the last book done. I'll replant it later. But yeah, now once I turn this into paper, I can get enough emeralds for the last mending book, which will give me all 4 that I needed. And then I took all those books back to my base and went to my enchantment table, seeing if I could get a good enchantment on my armor before I used the mending books, and I was able to get Respiration 3 for my helmet. That was pretty good. So then I went back to the anvil, which was in my base tower, and started combining the mending books with the armor. So now I finally have fully mending diamond armor. So that is the end of the time lapse. I know that was a pretty long one. I will try to avoid doing time lapses that long throughout this series. But anyway, I'm glad to have full diamond armor. I wasn't able to max it out like I wanted to because it took too long and I wanted to get the episode done. So I just got mending pretty much on everything. But let's just start. I will work on getting good enchantments between episodes. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode.